brain of the cell, which is actually the nucleus. We will discuss about the nucleus and the various functions that are performed by this brain, or we can say the functions performed by the nucleus. Now when we say the nucleus, actually the brain of the cell, by the word brain we means that the nucleus controls all the activities of the cell, starting from the exchange of gases, that is exchange of oxygen or carbon dioxide, or we can say that the intake of the water molecules, or sometimes the secretion of the waste, are all done by the help or by the control of the nucleus. Now when we have the nucleus, there are certain important structures or the main parts of the nucleus. We will discuss them one by one. So let us have the shape of a cell, and then we have the nucleus. And this nucleus has an outer covering, and this covering is known as the nuclear membrane. It is the most important part of the nucleus. So the first important structure of the nucleus is the nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. Now when we have the nuclear membrane, it is the outermost covering of the nucleus, and this outermost covering is actually double layered. So we have a double layered nuclear membrane. So actually this double layered nuclear membrane gives shape to the nucleus. This membrane also has pores. Now these pores are usually the nuclear pores. Now what is the advantage of these nuclear pores? Because when we have the nuclear pores, or when we have holes in the nuclear membrane, so they allow the transfer of substances from the nucleus to the cytoplasm. You must know this is known as the cell membrane, it is known as the nucleus, and this substance between the nucleus and the membrane is known as cytoplasm. Now you can clearly see that it is the nuclear membrane which is acting as a barrier between nucleus and the cytoplasm. So if we have small holes in the nuclear membrane, they will allow the transfer of substances from the nucleus to the cytoplasm, which is actually the main function of the nuclear pores found in the nuclear membrane. So this was the first structure of the nucleus, first part of the nucleus. Then next we have the nucleoplasm. By the word nucleoplasm we can say that it is actually the dense thick liquid found inside the nucleus. So this thick liquid is actually known as the nucleoplasm. Now when we have this dense liquid or dense thick structure, it is actually the separation between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm, or we can clearly say that the nuclear membrane is the barrier between cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. You must always remember that if we have protoplasm, it is actually the combination of nucleoplasm plus cytoplasm. So together they are referred to as the protoplasm. Now these were the two important parts of the nucleus. We had first discussed the nuclear membrane, that is the outside covering. Then we have discussed the nucleoplasm. The third important part is known as the chromatin. Now these chromatin are the thin fibers found inside the nucleus, and they are remained in the nucleoplasm. So for example, if I have this nucleus and this is the nuclear membrane, inside I have the nucleoplasm, then I have thin thread-like structures which are known as the chromatin. These structures are actually the chromatin, and whenever the cell divides, if I have one cell, it will divide into numerous cells. This is known as cell division, and when the cell division is taking place, the nucleus will also divide. It will also divide to form two other nucleus. Now whenever there is cell division, there is also nucleus division. Now when the nucleus divides, these chromatin will condense. That means they will come together, they will rearrange themselves, and they will form the chromosomes. Now when the chromatin fibers have formed the chromosomes, the chromosomes are formed during cell division. If there is no cell division, they will remain in the chromatin form. Now when they have formed the chromosomes, and the chromosomes contain the DNA and the protein. So we can actually say that chromatin contains the DNA, or the chromosomes contain the DNA. That means one and the same thing, because chromosomes are formed only during cell division. Rest of the time we have the chromatin. So actually it is the DNA which is responsible for the transfer of physical characters from the parents to the children. DNA actually stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Now when we have the DNA and the proteins, and this DNA found in the chromosomes is used to transfer the characteristics from the parents to the children, and these chromosomes have a functional unit known as the genes. These genes basically have the genetic code, or the genetic material, which is actually the hereditary information carried from the parents to the next generation. So we can clearly see, if you have at any examination point of view, which is the substance helps in transfer of physical characters or transfer of characters from parents to the next generation, we can say either DNA or the genes or the chromosomes. Any three of them will be correct. Now this was the third part of the nucleus, that is known as the chromatin, which will form the chromosomes, and then it will form the genes with the help of transfer of characters. We have total 23 pairs of chromosomes. As we mean by pair, so individually we have 46 chromosomes found in a human body. The fourth important structure of the nucleus is known as the nucleolus. So nucleolus is the fourth important part in the nucleus. So if I have a nucleus, this is the cell membrane. Inside we have a nucleoplasm, and inside the nucleoplasm we have a small spherical body which is known as the nucleolus. Basically, nucleolus contains the RNA. RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. And actually it does not have a membrane. So it is actually a non-membrane body found inside the nucleus. Most of the time the nucleolus is attached to the chromatin. So you can always find the nucleolus and the chromatin in pairs. That means they are attached to each other. So we have the nucleolus attached to the chromatin. They are actually spherical in shape, a circular body, spherical in shape, found inside the nucleus. So these were the four important parts of the nucleus. Together they form the nucleus, and that is why we can say that the nucleus is the brain of the cell. So all the activities are controlled by the nucleus. Now when we have discussed all these four important parts of the nucleus, we will now discuss the functions of nucleus. So the most important function of the nucleus is that it is a brain of the cell. By the word brain, we mean that it controls all the activities of the cell. So the first function is that it controls all the activities of the cell, like the exchange of gases or the secretion of waste. All is done by the help of the nucleus. Now we can say that nucleus has one more function of transfer of characters from parents to the next generation. That word is known as heredity. So heredity is the transfer of physical characters from parents to next generation, which is done with the help only of the nucleus, because nucleus contains the chromosomes, and chromosomes contain the genes which have the genetic material. Now by the word heredity, we mean that the child may have the features of the parent or the mother. For example, if the mother has curly hairs, then maybe the child also has the curly hairs. The third important function of the nucleus is known as it is the storehouse of genes. That means the genes are stored inside the nucleus. These three are the important functions of nucleus, but we should know that there is one more important feature that is only found in the eukaryotes. Now when we have the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes, we have discussed these two types of cells in my separate video. You can also see that video. But basically when we talk of the eukaryotes, they have a well-defined nucleus. Now with the word well-defined, we mean that they have all these four parts: the nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, chromatin and the nucleolus. When they have a well-defined nucleus, we say that these cells are the eukaryotes, and when they don't have the nucleus or the well-defined nucleus, we say they are the prokaryotes. Now when we have the nuclear membrane or the various parts, so they have well-defined nucleus. Basically this nucleus is the difference between the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. Difference lies in the nucleus. If the nucleus would have not been there inside the cell, then prokaryotes must have been remained till now, or prokaryotes will be equal to the eukaryotes. So the basic difference between these two types of cell is the development of the nucleus. Hence it is the most important part of the cell. Then that is why it is known as the brain of the cells. So you must also know that if we have an animal cell, which is basically the type of a eukaryote, the nucleus lies at the center. But if we have the plant cell, which is almost rectangular in shape, we have the nucleus at the periphery. So in the animal cell, we have nucleus at the center, which has all these four parts, and in the plant cell, we have the nucleus at the periphery. That means we have the nucleus at the, in the plant cell, we have the nucleus at the boundary. That means it is in the periphery. Periphery means it is in the boundary. The reason for this is that in the plant cell, we have large number of vacuoles. That means empty space is present inside the cell, which is occupied by the vacuoles. Now because there is large vacuoles, so nucleus is at the boundary, and there is no vacuoles or no large size vacuoles in the animal cell. That is why nucleus is at the center. So this was everything about the nucleus and the functions of the nucleus.